And coming up right now, we have Chris Hamlin. Give it up for Chris Hamlin, please.
So I met my girlfriend on OkCupid, and all right, we got some people who know about that. So for any of you who haven't used an online dating site, you have to fill out forms and categories and basically expound upon all of your interests. So I had 2 categories of interests on my OkCupid profile, and one were the things that I was genuinely very interested in, things like cooking and language and craft beer and public radio. And then I had the other category, which was things which I was somewhat interested in, but that I thought made me look good. And those were things like hiking and kayaking and other forms of outdoor recreation. So as luck would have it, I met a fabulous girl who was into all sorts of outdoor recreation in the serious, genuine interest category, which meant that she had some fairly high expectations of me in terms of things we would do together. So we went hiking. We met in June, and we went hiking a lot throughout the summer. And I was pretty under-equipped, but as you probably know, for summer hiking, equipment is not a big deal. But it started getting later in the year, and we got around the last week of October, and she said, let's go climb Mount Jefferson in the White Mountains. And I said, great, we'll do fall hike, I'll see some foliage, it'll be great. This is gonna be a lot of fun. And she said, when you're packing, make sure that you bring layers, because we don't know what the temperature's gonna be. So I'm like, all right, great. And so I wear jeans, and I bring a long sleeve t-shirt, and I bring a sweatshirt, and I bring a windbreaker. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna really prepare, and so I bring a hat, like a knit hat too. And I was unpacking my bag, and she's like, all right, you've got some stuff in your pack. You seem to be doing okay. And I'm bringing trail mix, and it has chocolate chips in it. And I'm like, do you think it's okay to bring these chocolate chips? I'm a little bit worried about them melting. And she says, I think you'll be fine. And so we get to the trailhead, and we're heading off. And I was expecting fall foliage, and what I got instead was Narnia. But it's not that cold. It's only like 30 degrees. And so we're heading up the mountain. And, I'm spending a lot of time with my hands in my pockets, but other than that, I'm fine. And we're getting farther and farther up the mountain, and there are fewer and fewer trees. And we're starting to see what some of you may know is called rime ice, which is large coral-like concretions of frost that form in high wind, low temperature environments. And I think it's really pretty, and it's something that I've never seen before. And that's distracting me a little bit from how cold it is and how cold I am. And we're continuing, and we stop for a snack. And she says, are those chocolate chips melted? And I say, no. I say, no, they're not. And I go for a drink of water, and my water bottle is frozen, and I can't get any water out of it. And then I think I am under-equipped. But I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to look like an inexperienced mountaineer. So I continue, the inexperienced mountaineer, which I am. So we continue, and it gets quite a bit colder, and I start to notice that my face, especially my cheeks and my chin, are feeling really stiff and kind of numb, and same goes for my fingers. So I end up unrolling the brim of my hat about as low over my eyes as I can, and tying a bandana around my face, and we continue on like that. But my hands are getting really, really cold, and we're scrambling over rocks, and I'm occasionally putting my bare hands in snow. And I'm getting to the point where I'm having trouble moving my fingers much more than this, and I don't want to go back. So we continue on, and eventually she notices what bad shape I'm in. And we get to the summit, and we spend about 10 seconds at the summit, about enough time to take one, sort of pained selfie on my phone. And then we start heading back down, and unfortunately for me, and fortunately for my digits, which you can see, I have all of them, we find between her pack, we find an extra pair of socks, and in my pack, in the mandatory first aid wilderness survival kit I made when I took hunter safety, I find a pair of hot hands. So I take the hot hands and we put socks over my hands and I hold them against my face, and that's how I get down the mountain intact. Thank you.